Hello there, I am Mobius, and that is 247Yugioh. We are both running Ratchet and Clank into the Nexus or Gold Bolts. It's a category that is basically an 80% run, but we get the main hidden collectible in most of the Ratchet and Clank games you're familiar with, the Gold Bolts. So it's an extra 10 minutes of extra gameplay and, you know, fun stuff.
Yeah, I think that's true.
Yeah, I hope it is.
All right, well, when we're ready, we'll skip this first cutscene, and timing will start when we start moving on the first level.
Yeah. Right here.
Yeah.
3, 2, 1, and we'll start here. But the timing starts like just in a second.
I believe Clank and Zephyr are still on the bridge.
10 bolts say they fell asleep right now.
So this game is, if you're familiar with Ratchet and Clank games, they're kind of a semi-linear experience where you go through different planets and different outer space areas to get, you know, different coordinates to go to further planets and get gadgets and, you know, beat the big bad. You might notice right away that we've gone completely out of bounds in this ship area, and this happens like so quickly that it's hard to even explain like the what we're really doing here. But there's normally a tutorial sequence where we figure out, you know, the basic long jump and, you know, jumping movement in this game. But it turns out that when we go out of bounds here, we can go to the very back of the ship where the tutorial sequence ends, and then turn a bolt crank to load like the escape sequence of this ship. Very fortuitously, there is solid terrain all in the back of the ship in this ship hole here, which allows us to just gradually go backwards and climb up the back of this ship. We needed to hit a load trigger in a little alcove that you saw earlier. And that's just to make like the second sequence of the ship load, but in actuality, like that's not actually doing anything really to the textures here. And when we get up here, so I'm going to be latching onto this mag ramp here. Normally the section is kind of on rails and you can't exit the gravity locked areas here, but because we don't enter it from the normal game intended method, you'll see that Yugi here, when he glides down, he's going to change gravity. Normally, that is sort of your force direction. You can't exit either side of those. But that's only when the game forces you on the rails, not when we force ourselves on the rails.
Good going, rookie. Gravity is restored.
So after this, we normally go back through the ship, same way we came, but this time we have enemies that teaches us the combat. But we can do the same thing here. When we exit this forced mag ramp sequence, we can go back out the airlock and then go out of bounds. And landing down here, we can skip a forced checkpoint trigger and go and get the fusion grenade, which is our main weapon for the entire run, right here just in front of that load trigger. But because we skipped it, we can use something called a difficulty switch to revert to the previous checkpoint that we were on and go back to the start here of this sequence. And when we land here, gravity detaches and we can go back forward to the front of the ship, which coincidentally seems to be the intended way to exit this sequence. But luckily we can just go back sort of in a similar direction to the out of bounds that we did at the start. Although we can take a little bit of a corner cut here, since there's some convenient posts where the ship rejoins back with the hull and back with the starting tutorial sequence. There is a lot of invisible flooring here and invisible gaps in the floor. It's one of the big pitfalls of learning this game is actually just this first level entirely, figuring out where there's gaps and where the invisible flooring actually exists. And in the very first sequence, if you die at any point after hitting the first checkpoint trigger, you lose several minutes because you get forced back onto the on-rails section of the game. And there's no way to escape that at all, and you have to do like 2 minutes of really boring tutorials of just walking around on low gravity. So Yugi here is clearing out the room, and he will, yeah, I messed up a little bit and couldn't get everyone in 6 bombs, but if you do it correctly, you can get everyone in 6 bombs and really clear out the room quicker. So the section I'm doing here is mag ramps. The way these work is really inconvenient. You have to hold L1 and then press X to latch onto these. But holding L1 changes your camera speed and makes it like kind of janky. So the optimal way to do it is to release L1 and then only activate it at the correct time. And there's really inconvenient skips like that one there, which skip a few mag ramps. I'm going to... I did say before that you can't detach from mag ramps. That's kind of true and kind of a lie, because you can, but when you stop, you float in midair because the game expects you to just reattach back to one. But since we're in the middle of nowhere, we are kind of soft-locked, except I can latch onto this ending ship here, which takes us to the next planet, far earlier than intended. Oh.
Yeah, I'm just going to play that safe.
Yeah.
Yeah, because this ship, it rams you over here, and if you're in its path, it will just kill you.
Yeah, so you need to be far enough away, but also at the point where you can sort of see the ship as soon as the gravity ramps activate. I'm going out of bounds here. There's a very, very, very tiny branch that if you miss, just sort of hurts your morale more than anything. On the TV that I used to practice in the hotel room, I literally could not see the branch because the contrast was so bad. It died like 5 times. Shoutouts to my friend FPNAS who watched me fail.
Okay, let's see if I can get it here. Okay, let's go.
Let's go. Oh my god, I didn't get ammo.
Yeah, so on this planet we need to get the coordinates for 2 other planets. The first one here is Planet Crag, which we just go to the end of this section and we get this. The other one we'll have to get later at the end of a cave section, kind of, but first we're going to get the gold bolts, because this is an all gold bolts run. So just over here is a path that you're supposed to go up and around here. So you're supposed to go up and around here, but we can just long jump across and make it. There we go.
That's really annoying.
Yeah. And then here you're supposed to have a gadget called the grav tether, but we will not be getting that. Damn. And yeah, so we're just going to grab this gold bolt, and instead of watching the animation, we are immediately going to change the difficulty, which will just warp us back to where we were just a second ago.
Yeah.
And you can see the next gold bolt right there, which we've just got to grab this one pretty normally.
Yeah. But luckily we can go out of bounds out of that gold bolt and just around the corner. And we can high jump to skip an entire gadget and, you know, pretty much, I would say, half the planet, where we get the main Clank mechanic in this game. Every Ratchet and Clank game has a, you know, Clank puzzle mechanic. This one is like a gravity shifting one. You turn, you know, you flick your analog stick and change gravity. We skip all of those, other than the ones that are forced at the very end of the game, because we can skip that entire sequence by high jumping over to the platform afterwards.
Only seems to work on robots. Maybe he was trying to figure out a way for everyone else to go in.
So we're going to go a little bit more forward after we get to the orphanage here, because there is another gold vault. This one requires a revisit casually with the hover boots, which are a very powerful movement gadget. But if we high jump here onto this tree and long jump, we just barely have enough room to make it over to this hidden island. There are a lot of other ways to get there that are much safer, but in my bad fortune I found one that's really annoying and really fast. Let's see.
Nice.
Yeah, nice. Okay, I was worried about that. So here, normally the orphanage sequence is like a lore backstory for the 2 villains, Vendra and Nefton Prog. I'm not getting this clip.
Yeah, I suddenly couldn't get that clip after getting it first try for like 4 years.
Yeah. Oh no, I clicked inbounds. That's really bad. It's really, really bad.
Yeah, so what we're doing here, first of all, we've got to clip through this rock, which we can kind of just do by walking backwards into it. And then we have to very carefully stay out of bounds and navigate around a section.
It's being so inconvenient.
Yeah, like this. This clip is not difficult until like a week ago, when it just became difficult for some reason.
There's no real method to it. You just hold into like this little gap in the wall, and man.
Wow, this is really. I I can't even remember. Oh, there we go.
You got it?
Yeah.
I messed up the load here, so I'm going to have to do the high jump.
What I'm hearing is there was a secret patch to make this clip a whole lot more difficult.
Well, it's funny, the trick that I'm just doing right now, for some reason, so the load that we do jumping into like a corner of a post isn't possible on the 1.00 patch, but is possible on the 1.01 patch. And for some reason, it's like the one game in the series where, you know, patching forward makes like this major 2-minute time save completely viable.
Yeah, there's only really like 2 tricks affected by patches, and it's they're both pretty strange, really. But I'm going on to Planet Crag. So this is the arena planet. We just have to do a bunch of challenges that involve killing enemies. So yeah, so this would be the time for donations.
Amazing. Yeah, we've had a few donations come in. Starting off with $100 from Dan MCD.
Oh my God. Yeah.
Who says, good luck to Mob and Yugi. It's always a delight seeing how dedicated you are to getting the most out of these games. Get those gold bolts.
Love you, Dan.
We've also got $20 from Fireproof Nas, who says, GL Mob and Yugi, wishing the best for the Super Slim. I assume that means something to you.
Yeah, it does.
Also, speaking of things that might mean something to you, Big Mob PS3 Comfy.
Yeah.
Great.
Right.
And finally, we've got $20 from Knifey AU, who says, cool event, put this towards Vegemite as the favorite food. And a reminder, when you are donating, you can put your money towards a donation incentive, one of which is for our chicory run later in the day. You can tell us what your favorite food is, and that will be the name of the main character. So get those in now. I look forward to seeing the results if that bid war continue.
All right. So the big thing here is something called ammo minute. So when you play this game casually, the way that these ammo crates give you ammo is really frustrating because it just goes to a completely random weapon that you have, which is really annoying because we pretty much always need ammo for the bomb. But very fortunately, if you just fire one pistol shot, it completely manipulates the ammo so that you pretty much always get ammo for the weapon that you're running out of ammo on. Which is very, very useful because like the random ammo drops are pretty bad.
Yeah. For ages there, before I found it, it was just, you know, boss fights especially would be determined by how many bomb drops you got. But I think I sort of figured it out to be, for some reason when the ammo is full on a weapon, it sort of treats it like the ammo is actually empty. Because it does have a bit of weighting to, you know, which of your weapons has the least ammo. But it treats 40 out of 40 as 0 out of 40, it sort of seems. Okay. The other thing is we need to be conscious of our experience. We get experience in this game by damaging enemies. This is the second game in the series that changes to this method instead of kills, which rewards you for using multiple weapons more than just like using one weapon and finishing it off with another. And that's fine for this game because we already killed every enemy anyways. But yeah, we need to be using our grenades as much as possible. We like to use the wrench sometimes to get final hits off enemies on low health. But we need to be mindful to do the bulk of our damage with the fusion grenade here.
But yeah, there's not a lot to these missions beyond just knowing where the enemies are and where they're going to spawn. This one here is a little interesting because you have to destroy these enemy spawners. And importantly, it has a timer, so we can directly compare who gets the better one.
Yeah. Oh man, yours is good. That's so good. 47?
No.
Oh,
no. I left the guy alive. Oh, that's annoying.
Okay.
Okay, 43.
My bomb just went into the ether. Oh, that's one alive. Okay. Okay, we both fumbled it and got 40. I fumbled it even more.
What is wet?
What?
Oh, I'm fumbling this menuing. So there, I bought a weapon called the Nightmare Box. That'll be useful for two things, really. For one thing, it lets us clip through walls. A lot of the Ratchet games have a weapon that just lets you clip through walls, which obviously is quite useful. And we can also stand on top of it just to get a bit more height. So we'll be using that on, I think, every planet.
Pretty much.
Yeah. And now here we just have a boss fight. You may recognize this as the same guy that we skipped on Yerrick, and you may also recognize it as the guy we're going to fight next planet. But yeah, he has a shield and puts it up sometimes, but we've basically just got to throw bombs.
Yeah, the reason we do all these weapon upgrades as well, like go into the vendor and upgrade our bomb, is that it gives us these little sticky grenades primarily, and they do a ton of damage. If you can get them stuck under him, sometimes you can see on my screen that they just go everywhere, but if the bomb explodes on the ground, the sticky grenades don't go far, and they do a lot of residual damage. So it's fine to throw it as low as you can.
And then just at the end of this, normally there's a cutscene where you get the Grummelnet jetpack, but we're just going to change our difficulty, and then we're back at the ship, and now we're going to Planet Silox. So Planet Silox is probably the most involved planet in the run. It's 8 minutes long, and we have to do a bunch of skips, get a bunch of gold bolts, and yeah, there's just a fair bit going on. But we'll start off by switching the difficulty here to skip this long animation of the ship flying in. And then we are immediately going to go out of bounds by jumping onto this lamp here. Hopefully.
Oh my god. Oh my god.
Okay, I'm going to high jump. Okay, hold on. There we go. It's not over yet, though, because I still need to jump up here, and really, if I'm smart, I should high jump up to here, but I think I can make it with a double jump. There we go.
Okay, there we go. Now I have to do it. So the reason we're doing all this out-of-bounds stuff is we need to get to a second load trigger that loads in the sort of the second portion of Silox. So where Yugi's long jumping is just in the direction of where we need to go. We go sort of out of bounds, then back inbounds after a certain point. So yeah, you see this unloaded wall here. This will load in once we fall down a little shaft back inbounds.
Yeah, so I'm going to go inbounds here to load it, and then immediately go back out of bounds with the Nightmare Box. So you'll see this clip here. There we go, and I'm going to get this checkpoint for safety, otherwise that could be bad. And now here you'll get to see the other use of the Nightmare Box, which is a box stand. So I can put one out there. That's kind of... Whoa, okay. Yeah, so that's not how that's supposed to go.
Let's see if I get it. This is probably the biggest bottleneck in the run, because the surface that you can hyperstrike on is very slim. Okay, yeah, got it.
Nice. All right, let me try this again. Oh.
And you can see the benefit of getting the checkpoint there, because if we didn't, we'd have to do the entire sequence where we went out of bounds and over the train tracks. So here I'm doing the relay station, which is just a combat sequence, but there is a trick at the end involving our good friend, the Blazebot/Voltanoid. There's a lot of bump spam. What I'm going to do is I'm going to throw a Nightmare Box. Probably too late on that. Yeah, that's a shame. It's okay.
Nice.
I can back this up.
There's the relay station.
Okay, there we go.
Nice, good job. So when I have the Voltanoid here, I can hit one of these lasers. These are normally instant kills for Ratchet. They lock onto you, and they kill you. But if you damage them and you have a Nightmare Box down, because the actual intended mechanic of the Nightmare Box is to be a decoy, basically. The priority of the turrets is on your decoy. If you put the decoy in front of one of the mini-bosses, it just shoots the mini-boss because the laser hitbox is so large that it'll instant kill it. Because it also does, like, I think in the scripts it's like 99,000 damage. And you may notice that we have 40 HP at this point.
Ideally here you can get it on this this laser here. It just happens when you kill some of the guys. Unfortunately I didn't get it there, so I will have to do the same thing that Mobius did and just shoot this turret here.
Maybe a bit more forward, like...
Where is he? What
He's there. Huh.
There we go.
Yeah, there we go.
And yeah, he just gets destroyed. That's quite useful in 100% because there's a skill point for killing that enemy with only the wrench, but only the wrench in Ratchet and Clank games tends to just mean without weapons. So using a laser that does 99,000 damage counts as the wrench.
Yeah. And another important thing is getting the V3 fusion bomb here. When you level up the weapons, you can do more of the upgrades in the vendor, the raritanium upgrades. And we unlock basically all of the base set of the upgrades once we get V3. In addition to, you know, the bomb massively increases the damage output as well. You'll see when this ship explodes, it'll... I think this one gives raritanium. Yeah, so there's a little flying crystal. What I'm doing here, so normally after the sequence, you'll see in the cutscene there, Clank talks about like turning like pipes to go into the SkyTrain station. SkyTrain station is just at the very top here, so if you clip through the wall, there's a really generous and large load trigger that just loads the train station right away. It does require 2 clips, and like you land on pretty much the periphery of the elevator that takes you up to the boss sequence in this level. And we'll see just in a bit in Yugi's feed how he does it. You'll see on my screen, yeah, the boss fights in this game are very much just mash R1 as quickly as possible and hope that your bombs connect. We keep the auto aim mechanic on in this game because it is quite good at tracking projectiles, but it can also overcorrect and throw bombs behind enemies.
Yeah, it's just useful enough that we kind of have to keep it on, but it can be quite annoying sometimes.
Yeah. So you see there that, like, suddenly out of nowhere on Yugi's screen, everything loaded in. The load trigger for that section is kind of massive. If we just fly down and land on the already solid parts of the out-of-bounds terrain there, we hit the load trigger. And then after a few seconds, the boss platform loads in.
So now I'm going into the fight that Mobius is on, which is Neft and Prog. Now this fight is interesting because in New Game Plus, it's like 10 seconds, because you can just use the Rhino and just instantly melt all of his health. But he's intended to have a second phase at 50%. Like you can see there, he left the arena. And it's always kind of been theorized that because, you know, there isn't really any like hard-coded restriction on just doing all of the damage to him all at once. Like that's what we do in NG+. So, you know, the idea that maybe you could do enough damage to him in any percent to just one cycle him is, you know, theoretically possible, but our weapons just are not good enough to do it.
Yeah, I actually got something pretty interesting on my end where I stopped firing, but he was in the middle of the sequence where he latches up to the very top of the arena and starts slamming down on you. That's the longest attack, and he doesn't cancel out of it immediately. So there's like a hypothetical where if you get him stuck up there, you're able to skip the entire thing, but we just don't have the damage output, and we can't buy any more weapons since we don't get any of the currency, the bolts, necessary for it. So I am clipping out of bounds here, and also I will lift the camera up because there is a huge green screen warning. But in the sewer sequence that we skipped to unlock the train station, there is a gold bolt down here, but we can use the jetpack out of bounds since it is legal jetpack zone. If you go out of the legal jetpack zones, it'll immediately diminish your fuel. But luckily, since we are like in a quasi-inbound state, we will keep our jetpack fuel.
Yeah, and so this gold bolt is just in a big section that we were supposed to go through, but we just skipped entirely. So we do have to go back to get it, but luckily we don't actually have to go like into the section.
Yeah. This is a common thing. Oh, nice. Yeah, that clip is quite frustrating sometimes. If you're off even just by a little bit, it'll force you up and forward and not up and back. But yeah, You can use this green screen for whatever funny memes you want, which I think has been done in the previous All Gold Bolts runs that we did. The funny thing about the zones that are legal, the Gold Bolt is like, oh, I need to not autopilot. I was watching you difficulty switch, and I thought, oh yeah, I should difficulty switch. I'm collecting a Gold Bolt. Like where the Gold Bolt is right outside the edge, so you have to land on top of it, otherwise you just glide down into infinity, and it takes ages to die in this game.
So one thing that we're conscious of here is our health XP, because on the next planet there's going to be an enemy that it only takes like 5 seconds, actually it's probably longer than that, but like maybe like 7 seconds to kill. But if you get a health upgrade, you can just kill it instantly, so obviously we want to get that, and it looked like you had the right amount of health for that.
Yeah, I was kind of worried because I did kill extra enemies on Yarrick due to my deaths, but I think we're good. So I'm on planet Thram, which requires you to collect crystals from either fossilized or living Gargathons. We need 10 of them to get the most powerful gadget in the game, the hover boots.
Oh, I just got the...
Oh,
unfortunate.
It's all right. It's only
it's a minor time save.
Yeah. So the best way to do it is to kill the living ones, since they're 3 instead of 1 for the fossils. And so you see that that's the demonstration. If you need to stand close enough, there's so many times in practice I'm like inches away from. I get the health XP explosion, and then he's just like staring at me. Like that's a nice party trick. But yeah, we're going around and collecting 10 in a particular route that lands us right near one of the Gold Bolts for this level, one of the 2 Gold Bolts. We can high jump and we can glide up slopes if they're just not steep enough, and land on solid, standable terrain. So another difficulty switch here. We were also on Hero difficulty, which is the second difficulty. I think I messed up my difficulty switches. It's fine. Oh wait, no, I'm good. And yeah, you can see that especially the ammo management can be...
Yeah, the ammo can be really annoying, yeah. But hopefully I should get another drop.
Yeah, good. So now that I have 10 crystals, I can talk to the smuggler twice, and that gives him 20 crystals. But it also has an interesting side effect where if I skip this cutscene via difficulty switch, it lets me keep the hover boots, which is something that doesn't normally happen if you don't talk to him twice. One of the other side effects is you can do this over and over again because you actually have more than enough crystals. You actually dupe your crystals. So I have 20 crystals despite having 0 on my tooltip right now. And that allows in 100% to skip the entire crystal collection and save, I don't know, 15 minutes, I think, in my first run.
Yeah, and another side effect is you get a really funny line of dialogue, which you'll hear right now. Hang on a sec.
So I haven't used the hover boots much yet. I did mess up the trick there, but one of the benefits of it is that you can charge off slopes, and then you can do a mid-air jump out of the hover boots, which is quite powerful because you can basically double your distance by jumping at the right time. And Yugi, not ledge grabless. See, it's a 1 in 10 chance. So on Yugi's side here, he goes between an invisible wall, and then he climbs up these out-of-bounds rocks just high enough to get a bolt that you'd normally have to unlock the jetpack for, which is 40 crystals.
And now we're going back to Crag because we've unlocked another tournament, and this will give us 2 Gold Bolts. And so if we have any other donations, this would also be a good time.
Yeah, great. We've had a few more come in. We've got $5 from Sly Sonic, who says donating to represent the Super Slim Gang. We've got $5 from Mr. Poker, who says, came from the Ratchet server ping, good luck on the run, and shout out to the amazing community always willing to ping events. Which has led Mobius to bury head in hands.
I'm good. I'm good.
Also $14.50 from Sin saying, GL X 247U Ratchet. And finally, $10 from Anonymous. who says, "My favorite part of this run is when Mobius said it's mobing time and mobed all over those guys."
That happened.
Please put this towards my favorite food, being dust mite. So we now have the options for favorite food as Messina, Vegemite, Marmite, and Dust Mite.
All right. Well, these challenges are slightly more interesting than the ones we were doing before, but there are ones like this one that I'm doing right now is
Literally just the one that we did before.
Yeah.
But it's on fire now, so it's really,
Yeah.
you know, really interesting. And we normally we have this cup, the silver cup, unlocked already, but there's no real reason to do it because we need to go back after completing Fram to get the gold cup. And we will have more powerful weapons by that point, so we can just clear out these enemies here. We get introduced to this movement sequence, this canyon, but it's, again, not particularly that interesting because our bombs one-shot everything in something that's supposed to be a challenge.
Yeah, there is one thing that can happen on these jetpack challenges where you'll suddenly just start drifting down and to the right, and you can't do anything to stop it. And if it happens early enough, you just can't finish the mission. I got it once in practice, but surely it won't happen here.
Oh my god.
It's pretty rare. Like, it shouldn't happen. Did I not kill one of the guys, or am I just...
Oh,
I missed...
There is someone back there.
Yeah. Dude, what? How did it... How did I miss...
Oh. Okay.
Okay, there we go.
Uh-oh. Sounds like it's running out of fuel.
Yeah, so you can run out of fuel. There's only, what, 7 jetpack fuel spots there?
Yeah, the fuel lasts, like, easily enough to make it through this entire challenge, but for some reason they gave you just an insane amount of refuel stations.
Alrighty, so I've completed the 4 regular challenges, and then we get 2 challenges in sequence that are the 2 gold bolts that we get on this planet. One of them is a boss fight, and the other one is a hover boot movement tech one. So this boss fight here is very familiar, one of the Gargathons. This one doesn't have any horns on it. We can't get a health upgrade here, so this one we're going to have to beat legitimately. And that's, I don't know, maybe twice the health of a normal Gargathon. This is one where the auto-aim can be really bad because this guy can drift really hard to the right or left, and the auto-aim doesn't know what to do, it overcompensates, but luckily he did the spitting fire attack, which keeps him in place. The pods here are manipulable on Yugi's challenge, but it's sort of camera-based, and sometimes if you're just looking in just the slightest wrong direction, you can get kind of thrown off, get stuff behind you that you don't want behind you. So I'm on the final challenge now at Doom Canyon. This is just a regular movement course with the hover boots. You get a bunch of speed pads, but you can climb up this rock surface here and do something we call a slope intercept, where we glide on a surface for long enough that a sort of a soft lock prevention mechanism kicks in, where we're able to jump out of a glide, which is something we're not normally able to do. We steal the name from the Ratchet and Clank 1 movement tech, the slope intercept, which is more like just high jumping off slopes continuously. But, you know, it's sort of the same thing here.
And so that challenge that Mobius just did that I'm about to do, it is way more annoying than it looks, because that trick that you have to do, like, the ground is just really, like, slippery, and so, like, it's quite easy to just hover boot up and then immediately fall back down and have to, like, high jump out of the gap. But we'll see if I can get it here.
So I'm on the final planet now, Planet Igliak. This is another 8-minute planet with a huge boss fight and also, I think, probably my favorite section in the game, the museum. So we use all of our nightmare boxes here in different ways. We use it to clip through the walls, skipping the tour bot that we're normally supposed to carry around in the wrench. We can't carry both the wrench and go out of bounds at the same time, so we need to find a way to skip the tour bot entirely. We use one to climb up there, another one to get out of bounds here, and luckily there is a free load trigger just over here in the abyss, and if we do a leap of faith, we can land in another room and clip just through this door, and luckily there is a checkpoint that we can use the difficulty switch and bring back the tour bot, because God knows why it works out so conveniently, but it does. We actually need the tour bot for real here because there is there's a progression sequence tied to having it on one of these platforms. In this sequence, we're normally supposed to go along this moving platform like a platforming puzzle challenge, but the hover boots are so powerful that you can just long jump along.
We gotta get into that museum and steal the Dimensionator.
We get to the cutscene at the end of the museum here, and let's see if I can get this. So we need the tour bot for that platform there to bring the elevator down. Down. I did not get elevated.
Okay, so I like half clipped through that wall twice, which is unfortunate. So to get through that museum, you do 4 strats with the Nightmare box, and you have 4 ammo. There are 2 backups you can do, so I could have kept that going, but I will just go grab some Nightmare box ammo and try again. Okay, that one worked.
Nice. So the taxi that I'm taking here, and this takes a very long time to load, this is a sequence where you're like looking through the city and it takes about 45 seconds of just looking through all the destruction that happens. But you can difficulty switch and skip all that. Ratchet has no empathy for the people of Meridian City. The gold bolts have a hitbox that extends below the platforms here, so you can just high jump straight up into it off the railing. That railing grab, that railing stem that I did there is quite inconvenient. Nice. Okay, Yugioh's through the museum sequence. And our final gold bolt, but not the end of the run, will be just over here. We climb up and do another hoverboat long jump.
Welcome to the Groovatron Experience Room. Developed by GromalNet Industries, the Groovatron weapon forces its
so the intended way to complete this sequence is beat 4 mini bosses, 4 nether brutes. These enemies give a ton of XP, but luckily we don't need it in this category. But we can get on these boxes, glide down, high jump, long jump, and for some reason we can glide into that corner and it sends us through. I don't even know the geometry there that allows us to do that, but it saves probably 3 minutes of killing enemies. Oh yeah, another thing is if you skip the cutscene at the end of the museum quick enough, the audio cuts out entirely. It comes back after a while, but...
yeah, that's not an audio bug in case you're wondering.
I was thinking it had gotten awfully quiet all of a sudden.
See, I normally don't play with audio anyway, so you know, people will mention it on stream, and I'm like, what? No, it should be totally fine. And I'm thinking, oh yeah, that's the audio bug. So this is the final boss, and he is a gigantic meat shield that requires a couple hundred bombs thrown at him, and it isn't particularly difficult otherwise. There is a particular tech on the final phase of him that we'll try to get, but it's just 3 sequences of doing a lot of damage, doing the mag ramps, and then the Clank sections. So I mentioned earlier in the run that we skipped the gadget that allowed us to do the Clank sections, since we normally can't see the walls that take Clank inwards. But as a failsafe, it just puts Clank automatically into the sections. So these are shifting gravity. You flick your right analog stick and physics objects move and Clank moves. But these physics objects can also push Clank just like Nightmare boxes can. So we can go out of bounds here and do something we call a fast fall, where we keep punching down off a ledge to keep our speed going at terminal velocity, and go out of bounds to these nethers. These nethers will allow us to break the cages that our antagonist turned friend Vendra is in at the moment. There's a lot of story sequence stuff here that I'm sure I could do a deep dive on, but...
Yeah, if you're wondering what's happening casually in this game, me too.
Come on.
Okay.
Oh yeah, this long jump that Yugi's doing also skips a sort of a forced cutscene sequence. We just go around the platform where Nefton and everyone are fixing our MacGuffin, the Dimensionator. So on this phase, we want to prolong it as much as possible. There is a semi-forced sequence on the third phase where he flips the platform over because we're on a mag ramp, and we don't want that because it actually health gates him and... I got it way too early. It health gates him to the point where we just wait around for 10 seconds before he flips the platform back over. If we do enough damage, we do something called flip skip, where he just keeps upright and we can damage him the entire way through.
Yeah, so that's the end of the section for Ratchet, and Clank into the Nexus is where he's going.
Please tell me where you are.
So both of us are doing we're going to do a physics subject clip here, so he's doing the box, and these moving platforms, we sort of need to precisely wedge ourselves. Oh, I'm getting the bug. That's a shame. There's a rare chance that the objects don't click Clank through, and you need to restart the challenge to reset them. This also kind of resets the boss health as well a little bit, so the extra damage that it did at the end of the phase won't apply. So, yep, that works fine.
Here, try this.
Stand back.
Oh yeah, and at the end of this Clank section that I'm on, for some reason you have control of Clank, so you can just
Bring me another.
you can just do this.
I'm working to free her as we speak.
Alrighty. And another part of these Clank sections is that you just need to get within a certain radius of Vendra for the sequence to complete. You don't need to lead the nether all the way back through like you normally would in a IL. So now I'm on the final phase. Time will be coming up in probably 35 seconds. So yeah, I got the forced flip sequence unfortunately, but we do enough damage that we just need to get hit once and he'll flip the platform back over. And we can't damage him during the flipping animation, so we lose the amount of time that it takes.
Clank, this guy's tearing apart the city. What's your status?
We need one more nether to... I am on my way. Hang on, Miss Prague.
Okay, time coming up in 5, 4, 3, 2... Hey, I run out of ammo, come on. There we go.
Nice.
Oh my
Really?
God. The game gives you a kind of a freebie where the platform is slightly offset so you can wedge Clank in it, but if you don't get that little wedge at the start, you need to manually set up Clank. And yeah, thankfully, you got it there.
Okay, yeah, so I will now be doing the final section of the boss. I don't think I managed... Well, we'll see if I get flip skip. I think I did a fair bit of damage.
Try this one.
But yeah, this will be the final phase right now.
Got it. Let's just get out of here. I never want to see this place again.
Ratchet, I have Vendra. We will be there soon.
Let's see. Yeah, so there's like little notches on the right side of the health bar, and if we get the health below the middle of the 3 notches that intersect the health bar, then we're pretty confidently done enough damage to skip the flip sequence. But yeah, it's very inconvenient because you spend pretty much 10 seconds in a point where the boss is health gated and you can't do any more damage to him.
That was actually a pretty fast flip though.
Yeah, you got damage immediately and he flipped.
But yeah, time for me will be coming up Hopefully, right now. There we go.
Yeah, that was Ratchet and Clank into the Nexus All Gold Bolts. I think we did pretty well keeping up with each other there.
I think so.
Yeah. I'd like to thank, every single Ratchet and Clank runner. Like, the community is so just wonderful, even between all 15 games. This is the future of, I guess, Hexology, the 6 games that were released on the PS3, but we get support from the people who run the original games and people who run the later games, like the PS4 game and Rift Apart. We just, there's a strong bond between all of us, and I'm very thankful that they're our community.
Yeah, I agree.
You can go to this game's page, like Ratchet and Clank, speedrun.com/rack_ITN, and there'll be the Discord link there, or any of the Ratchet and Clank pages, and find the Discord link if you want to learn this run or any of the other Ratchet and Clank runs.
Yeah. I think that's all there is to say.
Fantastic. Well, let's give another round of applause to our wonderful runners. And we are going to just take a few minutes to get set up for our next run, where Cass will be running Transistor. So stick around. If you have any donations you want to get in before the start of that run, now would be a great time to do so. You can go to AusSpeedruns.com/donate. And if you want to put your money towards any of our wonderful incentives, just leave a comment in the comment box and we'll make sure that that goes to the right place. A good reminder as well that we also have some prizes available as part of this event. If you donate at least $10, you'll be entered into one of them, going up to at least $50 for the highest one. And it's a bunch of different game bundles we've got. A whole lot of awesome games that you will be put in the running for to get your very own copy of. You can see all of the details for that on our website at ausspeedruns.com/prizes. Thanks for your patience while we are switching over our games. In the meantime, we have had a $20 donation from Havra, who says, honk! And just saying, if you think that your favorite food is honk, you know, you can do something with that information. Or if you want to choose more violence, you could make your favorite food goose. There's so many options. We are just about done getting set up. In the meantime, we've just received a $125 donation from Kate Latte, who says, please put this towards Cow Mario Kart. Good luck, speedrunners. I have bad news, Kate Latte, which is that the Mario Kart run has already happened. If you want me to put that towards a different donation incentive instead, shoot us a message and we can make that happen. Or if you want to just retroactively put it towards Cow Mario Kart, we did in fact have Cow win Mario Kart, so you could consider that donation was successful. Right. Alternatively, we now have $125 going towards burger being our favorite food in Chicory. Burgie? Just a reminder as well, folks, that all of the money that we are raising for this event is going to support Game on Cancer, which is a charity organisation that is raising money to support early career cancer researchers, trying to make sure that this is the last generation to die from cancer. So if you would like to put your money towards this wonderful, wonderful cause, AusSpeedruns.com/donate is the place to do that. For anyone curious about the workings of my inner monologue, I've decided that this is the start of the fragmented Supergiant block. In that we have Supergiant, and then some not Supergiant, but then more Supergiant later today, so... It's like a block that's made out of Lego that comes apart as needed. Oh. Alright. Alright, and with that, we are all set to go. So I am going to throw over to Cass with our run of Transistor. Let's go.